You know me.
Every time it says going live, I'm like, what are we supposed to
Uh,
do?
no, that's not what you do. Okay.
Oh, no, I just.
You want to do the robot.
Okay.
Welcome. Hi, y'all.
Hi. Thank y'all guys to always join in on our dance breaks that we have at the beginning of these. Yeah. So if you clicked, if you joined, or if you're gonna watch this later, whatever, at whatever point that you're clicking on this, that we were talking about. It's my girl Cordy Buckley's Cardi B.
Belcalis,
Buckley's.
Alamanzar. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do not. Yeah, I don't. What's the whole name? What's
Belcalis, Alamanzar, I believe is her last name.
Oh, okay. But there's a middle too that she.
Oh, I don't know her middle name.
Okay, I remember her.
It's probably hyphenated.
Yeah,
She's
she said it the
Hispanic.
other. Yeah. So, but anywho, we're talking about Cardi B. Talking about a couple of songs off of the Am I the Drama album. Of course, there were some interviews that she did around the album that we may or may not reference. And one of the main things that we were talking about in this particular episode is high functioning depression. High functioning depression, let's just go ahead and throw it out there, because I think that people don't always realize what that. I think it's almost like an oxymoron to say like high functioning depression, because most people associate depression with like not functioning, with just like being down or being sad and crying, and that's kind of how high functioning is, but like almost in the sense that we have to just continue to keep functioning, continue to go, and therefore it looks different.
Well, I mean, and that's depression in general looks different for Black and brown people. It looks different for women.
Yeah.
In regards to men, it looks different from children to adults. But I will say that there are a lot of Black women who are depressed, but still, because they are high functioning, might not know it.
Yeah.
Or the people around them may not know it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is
yeah
Cardi's case too, right? Like from the outside looking in. Reminder, we're not diagnosing anybody in this
That's what I
video.
said.
We
We're not
don't
going to diagnose her.
anybody.
We're talking about
in general, but of some of the things we see from the things that she's said and the things that she's written down, that a lot of people have similar experiences to her and don't know that they are actually depressed and high functioning.
Yes. And I think that so we and then and like we also can see how sometimes high functioning and major depression can go hand in hand, and sometimes even like go in and out. We talk about how, well, in multiple different interviews that Cardi has did, she talked about how in the process of, if you guys have been catching up with the media, the news, anything with the album, you clearly know that she has been going through a very, very public divorce. And she talked about like how terrible it was for her, and she was like that for like large periods of time. She just could not function. That she didn't want to work, she didn't want to leave the house. She said that she couldn't be creative, she couldn't write, and so she would just like stay in her room, like she just could not do anything. And I think that like that's like one of the signs of like, of course, like major depression, but I think it's also the hard part when it's like almost like a timeline to that, of like, or like a deadline. So like, okay, so wrap that up because you have to get back to work.
Yeah, and that could be like internal or external. Because let's be real about it. If you are a Black woman, the odds are of you taking care of somebody in your family are higher. So you have to show up for other people, right? And like in a way that you may not even necessarily be able to show up for yourself.
Oh, 100%. And I'd say that I commend so many celebrities or people in these situations, because I know how it is for me on
You ain't even a celebrity.
Yeah, on my scale, like the pressure to continue to show up, the pressure to still be on, the pressure to still be present, and it's just like me and my circle and my family. Like I couldn't imagine like the entire world being like, you have an interview in 5 minutes, like we need you to put out an album like now. Like I'm like, I don't want to get out the bed today. I don't want to do this. I don't want to put on makeup. I don't want to put on clothes. I don't want to be in front of a camera, but that's your livelihood.
Yeah. So that part too, and then also to have to pretend and mask, right? So people use masking a lot when we talk about like neurodivergence and autism. It's like basically putting yourself out there to pretend as if you look normal or like everybody else
Yeah.
when really on the inside you don't. But to think about, if you have to be in the public facing, that means like everybody is scrutinizing it, like literally what you wear, what you have on, what your facial expression is. That means you have to show up in mask
Yeah.
because you don't want everybody to know what's going on underneath the surface, because that's not even your persona.
Yeah.
That's not Cardi's persona. That's not a lot of our personas.
Yeah,
Right? You might be the funny
100%.
friend. You
Yes.
might be the mom friend, the caretaker friend.
Hmm.
Right?
So therefore, I have to continue to show up and be the funny friend, or I have to continue to show up and be the mom friend, because there is like that level of pressure, like you said, internal or external, of what am I if I'm not this, or what happens to me if I'm not this.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many clients who come to me sometimes and they're like, "Well, all of my friends depend on me for this. They depend on me to be like this element. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to come, like, I have to show up
Yeah.
like this. I have to be the one who gets us all together, or I have to be the one who's like the life of the party, or the party dies." And
Not the
sometimes
party dies.
the party
It's
dies. Like,
dead.
nothing else will happen without me. And sometimes there is a level of like realism to that. I've had those feelings before, where I know me, where I've struggled with being on in a situation and everybody else is just like, "So you just gonna sit there?" And it's like, "Oh, so wait, let me get it together. Let me like put myself back on so I can
Mm-hmm.
like drive the conversation, or like drive the games, or like drive whatever it is to get
Yeah.
everybody else engaged."
No, yeah, they count on you to show up and do the role that you have always done.
Yeah.
And for some people, because we like being in these roles, we like things to be familiar and how we like them to be, that sometimes there's that pressure that the people around you, they won't allow you to have those feelings, right?
Hmm.
They're just like, "Oh yeah, but you're always so resilient. Like it'll be fine. Let's just go through it." And they don't actually give you space to feel how you feel. Of
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I'm actually going through something too." Or like, "What is going on with you? I noticed something's changed."
Yeah.
I feel like that's one. So like the social aspect.
Yeah.
But then also sometimes it's easier to focus on the people around you instead of dealing with whatever's going on inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Like sometimes
100%.
it's a good distraction to show up and mask and do all the things and be the perfect one, and then you also get to pretend maybe it's not happening,
Hmm.
or you don't have to dissect it.
So
Speaking for myself.
yeah, let's jump into that just a little bit, about what are some of the signs, or some of the possible ways that high functioning depression can look. Because like you mentioned, that sometimes it is that internal feeling, even if we don't always want to acknowledge it, but there is that feeling of, let me find other things to do to avoid dealing with me.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not that's work, whether or not that's like party planning, like whatever it is, let me work on your
Not
stuff.
party play. You love a party. What's going on right now?
No, like, let me like work on your stuff. Like, so it's like any way that we can find other stuff to give our attention to, or to busy us. You seen that? Like instead of sitting here in my feelings, I'm gonna get up and clean the whole house, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
walk the dog, and I'm gonna cook a whole meal, and then I'm gonna, call on my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which, like, if we're talking about maybe traditional or like textbook depression, it might be you can't get out of bed, right? It might be like you can't get up and like clean the house and do all the stuff you're supposed to do because you just don't have the motivation.
mhm.
But if you are wonderful, higher functioning people, that might mean you get up and you do everything
Yes.
except the internal work that you need to do. Like you're getting up, you're helping everybody else, you're not sitting down, you're not taking a minute to stop
Yeah.
so that you do have to
A
come through
hundred
some stuff.
percent. Or let's add in another one. If you're sleeping, but you're never rested.
Mm-hmm.
So like that feeling of talking to people who, like, I've slept the entire night, or like I even had like extra hours of sleep, but it wasn't rest.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just did not feel rested, or like
Mm-hmm.
I woke up and I'm still tossing and turning, or I wake up sleepy.
It wasn't rest. It wasn't restful, and
Uh-huh.
also remember that tired is also an emotion, right? It's a physical experience
Let's
and it
say
is
that.
an emotion. So you can be physically well rested. I think it's really hard to be mentally and emotionally
Yes.
tired and physically well rested. I think that's really hard to do. But
Mm-hmm.
let's just say that is the case. You are physically well rested. You can also be mentally and emotionally tired. And I don't think that they feel very different.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to tell which one is which.
Yeah.
And just remembering that those are all different. They're all different feelings and all different bodily expressions.
Mm. Okay, I like that. Um,
Then we talked about masking.
yes.
Talked about not being able to
Mm-hmm.
maybe even relax. Not you like even turn your brain off.
Yeah. Deflecting. Deflecting is another one. Oh, I'm pretty sure what video was that? I mean, you talked a whole lot about this. I'm not sure. There's been plenty.
Okay. Like I don't even know.
But I know that there was one we talked about this too, where like it's constantly I'm going to shift on to everyone else. Or even if you come to me and you tell me that there is an issue, I'm like, so anywho, about this or about you, actually you have the problem and you should be doing this. So, like, let's not get
why
on
am I
me.
being attacked?
So any way to deflect off of what's going on with me, I'm gonna go put it onto someone else or something else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All kinds of avoidance.
Yeah.
Deflecting, avoidance. And I think one thing that Cardi mentioned too is like losing time in a way that like she was like, I need a break, I'm gonna take a break. It's only gonna be about 2 months, and then she kind of looks up and it was 8 months before she had done anything.
Yeah.
And how like she wasn't really connected to time passing.
Yeah.
I think that can also tell you not necessarily, it doesn't have to be your depression necessarily, but something's going on within you if you're not being aware of time passing in a way that you normally are.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. And I like that too. I think that another one is, and I know that I struggle with this sometimes too, when I feel like that I am emotionally going back and forth with this constant confliction of, I got this, I don't got this. Like everything's good, everything is not okay. Like everything's okay, I'm done. I don't want to do any of this anymore. Shut it all down. We can wrap it up, or I can handle all of this. And like it, like yeah,
Goes back and forth.
yeah,
Maybe so. Yeah, I can see that. It almost seems
it's
like two parts of you are in conflict a little
yes,
bit.
and then I think that like when it becomes like emotionally overwhelming. So then, like, some days you're like, okay, like I have everything under control and everything can be handled, and then you get overwhelmed and you're like, I don't want to do any of this anymore.
I'm done.
Everything's getting on my nerves normally, and I tell a lot of my clients this too. Sometimes when you have like more high functioning depression or things of that nature, your tolerance level is already up here. So my tolerance level is here.
Mm-hmm.
The smallest thing hits my level and I'm just like, we're done. So it could be something that does not feel as big, but if I'm already here and then like you call and you're like, oh, well, like we're all gonna be late, shut it all down. We're all going home.
Mm-hmm. 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 Absolutely. Maybe even like spazzing out on people over smaller stuff or fewer things than it would take you before.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I know depression can look or feel like it's like nothingness. You just want to do nothing. But I think underneath that, there's a lot going on under the surface. So like being irritable and being angry is also part of it.
Yeah.
So you're sitting here going off on people about stuff that
I
it ain't
always say
nothing.
that
They
one
gave
too.
you a napkin instead of a paper
Yes,
towel.
I say
And
that one too. When you find yourself, when your irritation level is to the point that other people are like, but wait, was that a reason to get upset? Like, or people are doing things that like you're literally like he chews too loud and I'm fixing to slap him. Like,
and it's not just about one thing. It's like about multiple things or maybe even multiple settings. I think that can tell you, hey, like something going on there.
yeah,
Your patience real thin. Right? You are already been tapped out.
yeah,
And I think you're bringing something to the table that is not necessarily reflective of your environment.
100%. I think that sometimes we can tell though. I feel like that me and Jasmine have both been here where we've told one another about a story. And I'm sitting here waiting for the story to have like a plot or something. And Jasmine is hot and she is going in. And I can't believe this happened. I'm just like, but wait, what
and
happened?
When did they do the bad thing? Did you say
but
that
wait,
part?
what happened? Or Jasmine will be like, so Charmaine, he said what? I mean, you don't understand.
So
And
what was the bad statement? Tell me what it was, because I think I missed it.
And so when you have someone there to like ground you or pull out of you and be like, so wait, that really wasn't a reason to be upset. You can like, keep getting mad. Or you can be open and be reflective to like, okay, so like maybe this is me.
Is there a possibility that you brought something there that you need to dissect before?
Maybe.
Because also part of it is like you might be mad at somebody who did something that is justifiably made you angry.
Mm-hmm.
But was your reaction proportional to what happened? Do you know what I'm saying?
I still say Jasmine supports this. If y'all have not watched our girls trip episode when Jasmine says that she supported Tiffany Haddish in the Go-Gurt, I feel like that the amount of anger and the amount of rage that came out over that Go-Gurt was not technically justified.
But how do we know it wasn't proportional? What if that was the 17th time y'all had meetings, you'd have had a one-on-one, you already told him about himself. At that time, it is proportional. But if this is a one time, somebody took your go.
I get it. But and I also,
and the building is in flames, disproportionate.
But I also feel like that I would get that if I was having a bad day, and this has happened to me before. I don't know if this happens to anybody else who lives with somebody or anything like that. When you're having a bad day, and I think I'm fixing to go in the kitchen and grab some food that I thought was there,
Maybe don't get me started.
And I open that refrigerator and that food is gone.
That thing you was looking forward to. You know how black people say, I done fixed my mouth.
I had my mouth all set up for this food, and then it's not there. That's asking me to cut you.
Let's step outside. We need to go outside. We can't even talk about this.
And you even going to buy me another one will not fix it, because now I gotta wait, and that ain't the point.
It's not about that at that point. But again, I'm not saying that.
So I understand.
It's not a problem. I'm not saying it's not a problem. It is a problem. And is the reaction proportional to that? Because if I'm hungry and hangry like that, and I'm looking forward to this, I'm probably also trying to use it to cope with something.
100%.
Right? I'm trying to be like,
100%.
This is the thing that's going to help me through the day, and then it's not there. Like, it's the headlines that we always see. You know that person that go to McDonald's and then they snatch the McDonald's worker at the thing, or they do something crazy because and again, that's not everybody's story. Some people need to be getting treatment. Okay. And we understand that. But some people, that is the 130th thing to happen that day. And they have lost it because they did not deal with what was going on underneath.
And sometimes,
for days and weeks and months.
And sometimes it is as simple as you probably just should have ate. I'm one of those people.
But you at McDonald's, you went there to eat.
When
you
should have ate a snack
on the way to
McDonald's. Yes, you knew in the, like, and I think that's something too. We talk about this in other videos, and I've had, this is not my testimony, y'all. I like, Jasmine knows this, and like, they make fun of me. I plan my day around food. And I have to have food because that's just how I function. But I do know other people who will get in such like a tunnel vision mode that they will work, and not realize that they haven't eaten until it's like dang near too late. And then you got to figure out what you're going to eat. And then at that point, Jasmine used this in one of our last videos, you were trifling to yourself. And now we are at a place where you are hungry, frustrated, and you're fixing to tear some stuff up.
Yeah,
because
tear the club up.
Because you should have.
Because you didn't have a snacky.
You should have took care of yourself.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's a point of no return. Like, you've seen those videos of like ADHD rage of people like losing it. Like, it literally is a thing.
Yeah, but that's me. I know how bad I get when I get hangry.
Exactly.
So
there
therefore,
needs to be some prior planning, because you stay with a snack.
I do.
You stay with something. Stay with that thing on you. Okay, you're gonna have to have something. But it's also knowing that. But I think appetite is a really good thing to bring in here. Like, how does your appetite change if you're depressed?
But I think it is something like that. Sometimes it's not paying attention to your food. It's sometimes it's not now that you're eating worse, or things of that nature, or like that you're not eating, or that you're eating more.
That's a good point. Craving more junk than usual. I think. I would say all those, like, especially me, I'm craving like those serotonin stuff. Like, I'm tired, or like
sweet and savory
comfort foods. And that could be also like eating too much, like in numbing out as well, like not being connected to your eating, so you don't even know how much you just ate.
Yeah.
Or maybe it doesn't even really feel like you got full, right? Or not having an appetite at all and waking up and being like, dang, I didn't even eat today.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Or like, well, I think that, yeah, it's been a long time and I haven't had any food. I
So
don't even feel it.
yeah, one thing to listen to, because there's not any set way that your appetite changes, but I think if there is a change that's different from your normal,
Yeah.
and it's been there for a while, which
Yeah.
I think I said before, or no, I didn't. Cardi mentioned like somebody was like, just give yourself 48 hours to get through X, Y, and Z, and it'll be okay. But this is a thing that lasts longer than 48 hours,
Mhm.
or a weekend,
Yeah.
or a week,
Yeah.
right? Because we're talking about big stuff.
Mhm.
So for Cardi, it looks more dramatic. It's like a very public divorce, a very public betrayal, a change in your lifestyle, your kids being pregnant. But other people have that too.
Mhm.
Might just be further down along the line,
Mhm.
like it happened a while ago. And the depression stuff, it's gonna be there for a minute.
Yeah.
That's how you know the difference between you're just not feeling it right now and oh no, I'm actually depressed.
Yeah. Or your feelings are hurt versus
Mhm.
this is an actual
I'm
problem.
just going through something. I'm just grieving.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm actually depressed.
Yeah. I would say that another way that I feel like that we that this can show up for us a lot of times, and this is like also goes into like masking and numbing, but it's that constant feeling of trying to be strong. It's the constant I'm fine. I'm fine. Like, I got this. Like, I want everybody to think that I have it together. And I feel like I think that she said in her interview with Kelly Rowland that that's not what she meant, but I assumed that the song title "Shower Tears" were about tears that you cried in the shower.
What does it mean?
She said that it was literally that she cried so much that it felt like a shower of tears.
Oh.
Yes, because Kelly said what I said. Kelly was like, "Yeah, I get it. You go in the shower and you cry because like no one can see you in there. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's your quiet time." I definitely understood that, and she was like, "No, I meant it in the fact that like I just
I
cried a
cried
whole
so
bunch of
much.
tears. It felt like a shower." I was like, "Okay, I get that too." But for me, I'm thinking about the idea of literally going into
But
the shower and
that's what
crying
I'm
because
thinking.
it's private. No one can see me in here. I
Mm-hmm.
can still come out and pretend to be strong.
Mm-hmm. Can we all raise our hand if we had a good shower cry? Some people do it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
They just like, hey, it's shower time, it's cry time.
Yeah.
And I with that. When I used to work with my teenage boys who may or may not have been in baby jail, one thing that I would prescribe to them, is because they didn't have a safe place to cry. You can't cry around your peers like we supposed to be hard. And I'd be like, okay, shower time.
Mm-hmm.
I know you only got 50 minutes for a shower, but like, can we schedule a cry and just get some stuff out so that you can move through it?
Yeah.
And it
What I
always
think,
worked.
what I think there is a difference in between like if I'm doing that for that reason, like
Mm-hmm.
because I have to, versus I'm doing this because my environment is not safe where it's supposed to be safe. If I'm at
Yeah, but
home with
that's what I feel like. I feel like that's like the micro thing of a bigger thing of just like you don't have a space to just be yourself.
yeah,
What was the video that we talked about? That someone said, being depressed is a privilege.
yeah.
And we talked about that, and I would, and we argued about it because we didn't really agree about some
You
of it.
said that being depressed wasn't the privilege, but being able to show your depression was.
And I would say being, and I wanted to, I can't talk today, but I wanted to add to that, being authentic is a privilege, because the issue is if you're authentic, you get to be honest about how you're feeling with anybody and everybody, because that's just how you feel.
Yeah.
And it's safe enough to do so. But a lot of people struggle with not being safe enough to do that, because they have to be the strong one, or they have to be the parent, or they have to be the caretaker and all this other stuff, and then they don't get to, and so they're only assigned to the shower.
Yeah,
To share their
100%.
emotions.
Which is when depression can definitely manifest because I am confined to this space of when I can.
Be honest, be authentic about what's
Yeah.
going on, not have to pretend like it's something that it's not, or that
Yeah.
you got it all together and you don't want anyone to know,
Yeah.
or this thing actually impacted me more than I want people to know that it impacted me.
Yeah. So like tying that full circle, we're talking about the high functioning depression, and we talk about like mainly like three main songs of the album. It was Shower Tears, Man of My Word, and
What's going on?
What's Going On, the one with Lizzo, where you can see that she gets very, very candid about the divorce and the things that she went through. Also, I said on the song Dead, where she said, I cried 300 days last year and nobody was there.
Mhm.
So like, that feeling of that you're this person, this icon, and you're going through something so terrible, and you're going through something that is like, that you're so sad about. We're also talking about like all the multitudes of things that she has said in interviews that like couldn't imagine. Like, she mentioned in one of the interviews about how she was trying to help out fellow rappers and support them, and these same girls were the girls sleeping with her husband, talking about multiple times of everything going on with her husband, and all the hurt of being attacked by other rappers that you thought that you were going to be cool with,
right?
And then having to tuck all that in, shove it all in. She even talked about having preeclampsia when with one of her pregnancies, just shoving it all in, having family members who all depend on you to be successful and take care of everything, and then let's push forward and let's be on.
Mm-hmm.
Not to also mention that she had mentioned a couple times in multiple songs of where, and I would be curious, Cardi, if you could answer this question for me, about her asking in multiple times about, she kind of alluded to not thinking that certain things would happen to her because of who she was.
Mm-hmm.
That I think we talk about this in some of our other videos about how sometimes we think that we can out success, out beauty, out money, our way out of things happen to us. How would you do me like this? I'm me.
It's me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how you gonna hurt me? How you talk bad about me? I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
I should be successful enough that this doesn't happen, or I should be rich enough that this doesn't happen, or pretty enough that this doesn't happen.
Yep.
And that there's no enough to exclude us from life.
Yeah. And that feels specific to Cardi, but it's really not. I think we all have a level of, this is the thing that I do because that's going to insulate me against pain.
Yeah, I think it was one of our videos we talked about Will Smith saying that he learned that he could not out success his trauma, and that
and J. Cole be talking about that too, of just all this stuff is still here. I just got more money than I did.
100%.
And people thinking and not just thinking, it's very an our community thing to be we'll get your education, we'll get this, we'll do that, you're gonna be fine. Don't worry about that, man. You got X, Y, and Z to worry about. And then not focusing on the internal stuff, because that also makes a difference.
Yeah.
You cannot uphold and even thrive in the new stuff that you're doing if you also don't take care of the stuff that helped you get there, or maybe slowed you down in getting there.
Yeah, because all you do is just take it and put it on a grander scale.
Mm-hmm.
I just took my trash and put some sugar on it, but it's still my trash.
Yeah. It's always, I always use that thing when we talk about EMDR and trauma and stuff. I use that metaphor with my clients of if all these years you've been taking the trash and not putting it in the trash can, you've just been shoving it into the closet and closing it there, squeezing it shut, at some point it's going to start to rot and stink. And it doesn't matter if the house is a mansion or a shack. You still did not sort through the garbage. You still did not decide, what do you want to keep? What do you want to throw away? What do I need to do? It's still a part of it. So just to know that we're all susceptible to that.
Yeah. And I think I used to always use the one too, and I would tell people, you can sit outside and wash and wax a car with a bad engine. You didn't wash it, you didn't spruced it up, you didn't spray some little air freshener in it and all this stuff, and that engine is bad. The car don't run. And I like that for a lot of us, that's the thing. Even we've discussed this in multiple videos of oh, I'm gonna get my hair cut and I'm gonna do my outfit. Yes. But I'm gonna do my hair different. I'm gonna buy a new outfit. I'm gonna get some money, all these things, and I've never dealt with the inside. So it's real cute. With a bad engine.
But I'm saying, and it's still ratchet with more money.
Yeah.
It's still not functional with more success.
But I think that that's also the hard part too, is that even if we do the work on the inside, even if you do the work on the inside, you're still not immune to being hurt, because life's, unfortunately. I mean, you will handle it differently if you do the
you have more resources
on the inside
to handle something. Absolutely. But again, that is to say, when you get the money, success, the beauty, that you stop being human.
Yeah.
You stop feeling feelings. You stop being hurt
But I think
by
it's the
trauma
idea
in
that
relationships.
I
That's not a
think that
thing.
people are going to treat me differently because of these things.
And if we listen to enough rich and famous people, we know that that is a problem. They
Yeah.
all say, like, I got to a level of fame and then people started to act different. I did not have people in my life like I did before,
Yeah.
right? Like, the humanity never goes away.
Yeah.
And again, you don't have to be famous like Cardi to experience something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Folks can change up on you real quick.
100%. 100%. And I think that that's also the thing too. I've told a lot of, especially, and I'm not saying that it only happens to women, but I told a lot of my women clients who think that they can do something to themselves um, to do more, to be like who this person would not hurt. Well, if I change more things about myself or I do more things about myself, he's not going to do this to me because of this. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I say one thing every single time, like, y'all, Beyonce, like, what you want me to say?
Name somebody cuter, more successful. Like what? Name it. I want you to.
Yeah. And you think that that she was not like dang near everything?
Mm-hmm. And not even to say that she was perfect, but like it still says it's an inside job.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like
100%.
there's not a level where you can get that you're immune to this stuff because it's internal
Yeah.
work that you
Yeah.
can choose to do or not choose to do. And I would argue and say that success and money probably makes it easier for you to avoid. That's probably the only difference.
It could be. Could be.
So again, if it's gonna happen to her, it's gonna happen to somebody else. And again, likely has nothing to do with you, but more to do with that person.
100%.
And
So,
then the last thing that we didn't talk about is that Cardi mentions this. She drops it a little bit, but like most of us, she doesn't really stay on it a whole bunch.
mm-hmm.
But people think that just because you're depressed, that means like you also might want to hurt yourself or like you're suicidal, whatever people think that means. But there is a way to be suicidal and not be actively suicidal. You can be passively suicidal, which is just passing thoughts, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe you don't take them serious, maybe you don't even act on them, but they float in and out of your mind of just
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I don't want to do this
tired.
anymore. Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. What if I just leave? Then and I think Cardi says this in a song, like, what if I just leave? What if I wasn't here anymore? Then how would you look?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which seems like something that's directed at another person, but it's also like a passing suicidal thought. It's
Mm-hmm.
something to think about and honestly take seriously. It's not the same as being actively suicidal, but I think it is information.
Yeah, and it's a big thing for us to be able to identify those thoughts that come in our head, and how they affect us. I also want to highlight too that for a lot of us, high functioning depression is not often diagnosed or misdiagnosed. Because like we said, it looks differently than sometimes with like major depression would look like, so people don't always identify it, and sometimes we just identify it as like, people are stressed,
Mm-hmm.
that you're just stressed out, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Or they don't have it because in the DSM, the whole thing, part of it is that it has to impact your life.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who get the help are the people who are not able to get up,
Mm-hmm.
not able to go to work, not able to make stuff happen.
Which, in
Even though
all
the people
honesty,
that do,
this is like all of these things that we have been talking about are
yeah,
impacting your life, but they
exactly.
impact your life in a different way.
But perhaps not enough to stop you from anything. But that almost is a double-edged sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're working yourself to death.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Black women die because of stress, right? Because we're moving and grooving and we're not slowing down to actually address it and treat it. Or we're begging people to see us, like actually see me and how I'm struggling, and they don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks different. Don't let anybody tell you that. It doesn't. It looks different.
Yeah.
And so you can trust yourselves. If something's going on with you, you can trust yourself that like something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to someone.
Or pay more attention to some of these signs that we're talking about, so that you can be aware that maybe this is me.
Mm-hmm. And check on your friends.
Yeah.
Look them in the eyeballs.
Because I feel like that some of us have been doing this for so long that people think it's part of your personality. And it's like, this does not have to be part of like who you are as a person.
That's
this
something
is
right there. Mm-hmm.
This is a thing.
So it's a little bit heavy today, but also it's necessary. Like, We want y'all to be well. We want y'all to be mentally dope. We are invested in that for you. And so, like, talk to each other, talk to us,
We talk
let us
back.
know what's going on, and know that, like, we always rooting for you.
Yeah.
So you come here, get your mental health together, and then go out there and be great. Yeah.
As
So
always,
stay
stay
mentally
mentally dope.
dope. Bye, y'all. Are we about to do it at the same time?
I don't know.